David Adesanya, your uncrowned 145-pound champion, here with two-time UFC middleweight champion, Israel, the last Stylebender, Adesanya. How are you?
Gravy. I'm just coming off training and then media and checking in and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm cool.
We're a few days out of your 11th consecutive UFC title fight. Talk to me about how your training camp was.
How my training camp was? My training camp was spectacular. It was cool. It was clean. You know how, if you know how training camps go. But yeah, it wasn't, there was no, yeah, it was just work as usual, business as usual, yeah.
You posted some photos up on your story that showed you looking sometimes, drained or dejected, and it wasn't your day in the gym. Talk to me about what was going on then.
Everyone's on. We've got 6 guys fighting in the card, so like, everyone was just like, you're peaking. People were peaking at the right times and stuff. So sometimes I was the hammer, sometimes I was the nail. And I like to keep things real. So I don't just show the good, I show, the sides where it's like, fuck. That day in particular when I was just like, I just got my ass whooped that day and I was just like, fuck, it's all good. And then the next day, I was the hammer.
What's the atmosphere been like in the gym from the start of camp, everyone going through the grind and everyone peaking at the same time on such a big card, so many fighters?
What's the atmosphere being like? I think it's just the camp itself. Like everyone's just, we have the same goal in mind, which is victory. Go in there and get the job done. So yeah, it's been an experience, put it that way. It's been an experience with the whole gang, brothers in arms. We bonded a lot more. Yeah, this is something like, if you know, you know. But yeah, definitely we all have the same mission in mind. Storm Sydney, take over, and be victorious.
How's Eugene been this camp with so much on his plate? UFC fighters, regional fighters.
Yeah, I've checked in on him, and good thing he has, smart men around him like Twist, Mike Angove, Andre Paulette, Frankie Hickman, Adam Johnson, Doug Viney. People that he can lean on if he needs any help. But yeah, we have a whole solid team. Eugene's the face, but we have a solid team behind us. And yeah, I checked in on him and just make sure he just said, like, he loves a challenge like that. It's history in the making. This is what we live for, what we do. We go in the fire.
What about the work he's been putting you guys through? Because I feel like maybe, which fight was it where things changed? Maybe the first Pereira one?
Yeah, not the one in New York.
Yeah, the first Pereira one, I feel like he stepped everything up a notch.
Yeah.
But what's it been like for this training camp?
That one, he felt like he had to, because he felt, as a coach, some things were misplaced, where, like, as in mindsets were misplaced a little bit. So this camp hasn't been that. He's been very, even with me, we've had no, like, real issues this camp. Like, I as business as usual. I've evolved. Show up, get the work done, go home, recover, get it done again the next day.
Talk to me about your final sparring session.
Yeah, the one before that, I was just like, the last 2 before that, I was just like, just certain people were just on. It was their day, and they were just whooping everyone's ass. So I wasn't able to get off the way I wanted to get off, But yeah, that final sparring session, I just showed up and I was like, right, this is what we're gonna do. And I came in the past, like, even before the UFC, sometimes it might not be my best session, the final sparring session, but I still end up fucking killing the guy in the fight because, we have a lot of killers in the gym. But this one, though, I showed up and I showed out.
Nice. Even though you have all these accolades, champion since 2019, 14 months into your career, 11 title fights, from my point of view, being in the gym and watching you train and your evolution, it feels like that compared to, your last couple of fights, it feels like you're only just coming into your prime right now, which is such a scary thought for the division? Like, how do you, like, what's your analysis?
Yeah, at 34, I know my body now. I know certain things that my body can and can't do. And I know what my body can handle. And also, like, my brain, my capability up here, being able to just allocate where I need to put my mind to, what I need to focus on, and what I need to work on in fighting and out of fighting. Yeah, I think it's just my mental and physical just meshing together. Like, there's certain things as a 25-year-old, 26-year-old that I was doing that I can't do now because, I've matured, I've aged, but also I'm still keeping some of those traits with me. But again, I was younger then. I didn't really have the maturity or the mental capability that I have now. So right now, I feel like it's meshing well together, the physical and mental and spiritual.
So you're adapting as you're getting older. But yeah, from what I've seen, it doesn't look like you're slowing down performance-wise, which is, it's a scary thought.
Yeah.
Dricus became #1 contender and wanted to celebrate by taking a holiday. And you have a new challenger, Sean Strickland. You've talked about how seriously you've taken this fight and training camp, and you underestimate no man. What would you say Sean's biggest threats are for you?
Fighting-wise, Eugene mentioned something about pressure, but I didn't even think of it as a threat because I know how to deal with that pressure. And again, pressure makes diamonds. I've been shining. But also, like, yeah, he knows, but he knows if I don't take care of that, then we'll have a hard time. But he knows I know how to take care of that, so we know how to take care of that. So I'm very confident in handling whatever he brings, even his wrestling.
I know one thing you like is the coaching battle part of it. Game plan versus game plan. Eric, also trains Francis.
Yeah.
They're getting ready for the Fury fight. So, he's been in some big moments too. What type of game plan are you expecting from the coaching staff of Sean Strickland?
Wrestle. They're going to make sure he gets me to the cage and try and wrestle me to slow me down. But again, I'm not new to this. I've had guys try to do that since my UFC debut.
Does it get annoying every time you fight? I know, I guess people can't stand with you, so the only, route to victory is grappling or whatnot.
Casuals, bro. Casuals will think, oh, just real wrestling. I've had better wrestlers try, but yeah, it's I don't think it's annoying. It's just like, oh well, here we go again.
Even the boys say the gym is called City Kickboxing, but some of them call it City Wrestling because you guys do so much wrestling and grappling.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, we're not new to this. We've had Andre Paulette coaching us for years. We've also had Frank Hickman pull up every now and then. This camp he came through, gave us a good solid few weeks of certain situations we should be aware of in the grappling and wrestling. So, yeah, it's just I love the curriculum. I like how we shifted from what we're working up standing wise, and then when Frank came, boom, went straight grappling and worked on certain things. And yeah, it's we're well-rounded, whether they like it or not. We're well-rounded.
Yeah. Talking more about your grappling, you have Andre Paulette, Frank Hickman. You also brought in Craig Jones earlier this year. I know that you're chasing your first submission in the UFC, but I feel like in this fight, you wouldn't be satisfied with a submission, or you wouldn't want to go for a submission in this fight. Am I right?
Half. I do want to go. I don't want to go for a submission in this fight. Don't put me wrong.
Well, you wouldn't be satisfied, I feel like, unless you he didn't tap and he went out cold or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Even if he tapped, I'll say, you bitch, you quit. You quit. Even if he went out cold, fuck, I put him to sleep and I can do my TikTok dance. But yeah, I just think I'm gonna knock him out. I just feel I'm gonna knock him out. That's the formula that's just been in front of me. I just see it like the way we're working. We're gonna make the way we're working. We're gonna make a car crash on his face. Yeah.
I like that. You've been in some big fights, massive main events, high pressure moments, legacy fights, big storylines. Comparing that to UFC 293 and your matchup with Sean Strickland, how much pressure are you feeling going into this fight?
I feel a lot of pressure, but I'm not really.
What type of pressure?
I have a lot of pressure, but I'm not really taking on those pressures. But I know it's like people are expecting me to win this fight. People are like, it's a this much favorite, blah. But But I don't give a fuck. I'm not listening to those voices. I still see myself as the underdog. I still see myself with a lot to lose, you know? And yeah, I'm still dangerous when I have my back against the wall. And for me, I put it on myself because this guy just talks so much shit. He's questioning my morality. The stuff about Chinese and anime and whatnot doesn't really bother me. But like the stuff he said about me as a man, I'm like, I'm doing a Michael Jordan, I'm taking that personally.
So the type of pressure that you're putting on yourself is to make a statement.
And make a statement like I did with Costa when someone starts to like jibber jabber a little bit too much. And I'm like, right, let me, yeah, hold my pocket.
There's a narrative, you know, going into this fight, you know, everyone expects you to destroy him and so on. But how do you know, manage your mental and make sure that you don't go in overconfident?
I've done that many times. Again, I don't listen to the voices. I just focus on myself. I focus on what I have to do, the work I have at hand. Like, they're not in there with me. They're not. A lot of them are professional fighters. So yeah, I don't pay too much attention to all of that, because then if you do and you start to, it'll seep into you. So as soon as I hear it, I let it go that one there. I don't hold on to it. It's like, meditation comes into practice in that sense. It's like you just observe what they say and then you let it go. You don't hold on to it.
And I guess your coaching staff helps you with that as well, like talking about your final sparring.
Yeah, or even before that, before the fight got announced, I don't want to say what Twist said, but Twist said something that made me go, okay. Just kept me, like, straight away, got the hairs on my back standing up. Even though I don't have hairs on my back, I gotta be careful. I gotta make sure I'm mindful in this fight. Mindful, not careful, mindful.
Yeah, and I noticed Eugene during your final sparring, because you were so on, he, you know, did some things to bring you back down a couple pegs.
But I was just like, I didn't react. I was just like, my bad, sorry, because I was just so on, and I was kind of, I wasn't even getting cocky. I was just like, it was a position I escaped. I felt like I didn't do well in that position, so I put myself back in that position to like do better again in that situation. And then he's like, "What are you doing?" I was just like, I put myself there on purpose. He's like, "Well, fucking don't." I'm like, my bad. He tries to get in my head, but again, I've had Eugene try or do it many times that no one really gets to me like that.
You like to peek around the corner before some of your fights. Into the future. What do you see when you peek around the corner going into this fight? Or are you peeking around the corner?
Not really, no. I've kind of just focused fully on what I'm doing right now. I don't want to look too far ahead. I don't want to, oh wow, pretty. I don't want to look too far ahead. I don't want to.
All right, so what you, sorry.
Carry on. Nah, I just focus on this guy because I've known when I peek around the corner, I still get it done. Nah, I'm very successful, but right now it's just, there's no clear cut anything. But as much as I don't want to reward his stupidity for letting go of the opportunity, I do want that Dricus fight. But like, I don't want to reward someone that just lets go of that opportunity, because I never let go of the opportunity when it was placed in my hands. I feel like you have to really take the bull by the horns, you know. But yeah, that's the fight. No bullshit. I want, because I feel like it'll be the most important fight, or one of the most important fights in sporting history.
How closely are you gonna watch the Khamzat and Costa fight? Because I heard you talk about how, you know, Dana responded to, you know, Dricus doesn't like people not taking fights.
Well, they said that the media scrum. Yeah, neither do I. Again, because guys like us, we show up and we fight. We're warriors. We're hitmen, you know. So yeah, I'll be watching very closely.
If all goes well this weekend, or when all goes well this weekend, how soon can fans see you back in the octagon?
Don't be surprised if I show up in October.
October?
I said don't be surprised, but again, I have things to do. So I got obligations to meet, so it might not work out, but we'll see. We'll see.
Stylebender comes out September 28th. How were the screenings here in Sydney?
Screenings were great. I love the response. I love the reaction, the reception from people who have watched it on Monday, and then they expressed how much they got from it and how awesome it was to see those sides of me. Yeah, I'm also happy I got to like kick it with the fans like that who paid money to come see me. And I feel like those guys, you know, when they do that, I give them the shirt off my back. Not literally, but might as well have, because I give them so much of my time, my valuable time during fight week. And I'm just like, thank you for taking your time out to come see this film. And thank you for showing so much love, and thank you for being respectful. I stayed back and I signed as much as I could. I think everything pretty much. I think I just, after I did all the photos, I did another whole, let's do it again and sign. And yeah, it was just, because they weren't being entitled. They came and they were respectful and they respected my time, so I showed appreciation back.
Nice. Thank you for your time today, champ. Wish you all the best.
My brother.
Easy.
Hey guys, what's up? Izzy here. Like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed this video.